Hello, this is Steve Walton from Tropic Heating and PatioHeat.com. Today I'm looking at a property where we're going to have two separate spaces that we want to heat up here. We have a cabana area on one side and then a veranda area on the right side over here. And this is a rather large property, and the reason I'm panning out like this, I want to show you what kind of property lines that we have and why that property line is going to play an important part in the decision making of the type of heaters that you have. So what we have here is it's up on top of a hillside here. It's kind of rather exposed up here on top with the compression of the wind as the wind comes into this valley, and it's actually, I believe, like a north, or this would be a northeast wind facing the heater, or excuse me, facing the structure over here. And as that wind comes in, it compresses up onto this hillside, speeds up, and then it goes over the edge and then dissipates as it goes over the mountain itself. But more importantly is, how does it affect the heaters? So let's talk about that a little bit. We have the little cabana here that we'll discuss first. This is a very exposed space on this property. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the topo part of this. It's going to have a rooftop on it. I just left it open so we can take a look at what's going on. But in any case, what I've chosen here is some slimline heaters. These slimline heaters would fit nicely within the structure itself. You can place it so that it's 6 inches off the back edge here, and of course 6 inches on top to meet the clearances of combustibles. And with the 4 units here, you'll see that we have rather well coverage for this space. Now the only thing we don't have when we place the heaters on the edge like this is a perfect coverage in the center. So in the center here we have a little bit of a unheated area, and I think that'll be okay in this application, because I think the consumer is going to be using a table in the center for dining and whatnot. So I think that'll be acceptable, and the people around the table will be heated well. So that would be this space. We're using 4, and each heater is just centrally located between the columns here, and 4 of them, 4,000 watt units. So let's go ahead and go over to the veranda area, and I have 2 different options here. Number one, quickly look at the dimensions here just to see. We have a 9'7" opening and about a 14.5 foot ceiling height here, apex roof, and then 24 by 24, I think, or 23.5 is what I have here. But going back to the topo, the situation still is the same, where we have this air movement that's going to be coming across the property and lifting up over this area here, and going right into the property. So we want to be concerned about what type of heaters we use. Now, if it was a calm day every day and we never had to worry about that air movement, then the SunPack heater, which I have placed up here right now, would work out just beautifully. We have a little protection from this wall here, and again, if it was a no wind situation, then these heaters would be ideal for this space. And just to give you an idea of what the Ray footprint would look like, we have a really nice coverage of the entire space here, and I think you'd be really happy with that. Now, being that the heater itself is located above this wall line here, then the exhaust is going to flow up into this space, and we need to evacuate that exhaust. Otherwise we'll have problems with the heater itself starving for oxygen, or burning the control out, or burning some other electronics out. So what I've done on this property here is located a opening for a attic vent to be installed right at the apex up here, the top portion of the space. So you can see down here what you could do is you could, you know, cover this with a kind of a faux type of tongue and groove area, and you know, you can kind of decorate this out so that it's not so visible. But I chose the back corner here because it's least likely to be a visual spot that someone would look at. So in any case, that's the sun pack. I have these sun packs roughly at 10-foot center from each other, and I believe in this particular application I have these about 11 foot 6 inches from end to end because of the way it meets up with the height up here on these beams. So it might change a little bit with the actual structure, but I think that's a good placement for these heaters in this application. So let's just go to what else do we have available. Turn that off and go over here. So this is an all-electric system, and they're roughly placed at the same 10-foot distance apart from each other. I have 4 of them located in here. These are WD models, so they have dual elements. They're 6,000 watts apiece. And what this does differently is, number one, we don't have the existing problem with exhaust, or the need to remove the exhaust because there's no exhaust. And the other thing is that we can place the heaters a little bit higher. We have 6-inch of clearance just like the other that we have to deal with. And then also the wind. The wind is not affected. These are not affected by the wind, I should say. And this structure here is going to have wind coming, you know, kind of like a almost face on here, and it's going to be blowing through the side doors here, or openings, and we have another opening on this side here. And if you were to have the residence physically open as well, and air move through there, so this is going to be a big wind tunnel. If you had a party, you wanted to leave it open, and it was a kind of a breezy evening or something of that nature. So the electric heaters are not affected by wind because they have no moving parts. There's no moving gases that need to burn, you know, efficient in the application. So whereas opposed to the gas units, there's a ceramic burner. The ceramic burner has several hundred holes in each plate, and those burners have to have a flame that wicks off of each one of those little holes that are just 1/8 of an inch in height in order to heat up that ceramic to produce the infrared light wave that you need. So wind affects that, so your efficiency is affected in using a gas heater like that in this application. Looking at the footprint of heat here with the Infratech, we have just about as good as coverage with just 4 units as we did with the natural gas units. Again, their placement is fairly similar. Now, if you were to move the heater up against the wall, which some people think is a better option, I tend to stay away from that, because when you place the heater up against the wall, the footprint now is thrown off the wall, so you have a hot edge over here, or an efficient heated edge over here, and then not enough heat in the center because of the throw of the light wave itself. So that's why I like to, if at all possible, place the heaters here, and I think you would enjoy the application if you place it there. If you place it on the edge, you probably will not appreciate the output of the heater as much. So that is my recommendation for this space, utilizing really all electric heaters in both of these spaces. And again, it's a consumer's choice to go with the natural gas, but there are some things you want to, like the vent, that you want to be aware of if you were to use natural gas, and also the limitations of the time of use for that natural gas system. So I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you're looking for a video of your own, or some help on setting up a heating system for your application, please feel free to give us a call or email us at support@patioheat.com, and we'll be happy to serve you. Thank you, and have a great day.